Okay, hello everyone, welcome back. So we will continue with our reflection. I will continue with my reflections over the course of this semester about cross-cultural communication and travel. Personally, I spent some time talking about my travels and my studies in Germany. I talked about my travels in Britain, particularly in the city of London. And there was a very special day where, before the midterm exam, where I taught you all the Cup song. And I still like that song very much because it's a song about being on the road. It's a song about finding a companion to be with and to be on the road. And today we are talking about reviewing the course, but also if you look at our Chinese title, we're also going to talk about using English in travel, so travel English. And I have a few suggestions for you all if you are interested in knowing about how to use your English during travel. And the first thing that I would suggest, that I would recommend, is to read beforehand. Read before you go. A lot of people don't do this, actually. A lot of people, they book their reservations with a group. And you don't have to make a lot of decisions. But I prefer, especially if you are going somewhere where you want to make use of your language, travel there by yourself and plan the trip by yourself. And live like a local. So don't just travel to the big major places where they sometimes speak Chinese. Go to places where you need to use your English skills. And then you'll be surprised. You will think that, okay, my English is not so good, but if you travel to a non-English speaking country, they'll also need to use English that is probably not so standard with you. And I think that's a good experience, that you realize that English does not have to be perfect, quote-unquote perfect, for it to be useful. Remember this, that the most important thing is that you can get your message across. And you can communicate, and you can have a dialogue, 有所交流. That is the most important thing. So don't obsess over your English skills. That's the second thing. So first thing, plan the trip yourself, be adventurous, take some risks, do it yourself, and don't worry about if your English is not perfect. That doesn't really matter as long as you go out and then you try to make contact with people outside of your culture and your country. When I was in Germany, because my German is not so good, and so it was very useful for me to carry a phrase book. You can use an app, of course, and there are many apps here, but for me, I liked using a phrase book and to actually try out those phrases on people, on real people. Yeah. I remember when I was in Germany and I forgot how to ask for the check. This was very early in my studies in Germany. I remember practicing this phrase, asking for the check, when I was in school here at Furen. Actually, I remember practicing in German class. But for some reason, in the restaurant, I had no idea how to say it. So I looked it up using my app. And then I said it, I memorized it, and then I used it. Because it's weird if you read it from an app, right? If you read it from an app, that's kind of strange. So I had to memorize it, and then deliver it, which is I actually used a very polite form. And I remember that the waitress was very surprised, and I think she was a little impressed. And I felt good that day. And so I used this method throughout my travels in Germany, using a phrase book. So you memorize a phrase and then you use it immediately for the situation. Okay, but this causes some problems because, actually I'll share this with you. So many times in Germany, I had this situation where I walked up to a person and I asked a question in German, and they responded in German. And then there are two situations. Either I understand or I don't. And then and either way, whether it's I understand or I don't, I have no response. I go, I don't know how to respond. Maybe it's because I don't understand. Maybe it's because I understand but I don't know how to respond. But then I sort of stop and then the person gets very impatient. This German person, I think it's a German thing. They can become impatient. Like, you just spoke German to me. What the heck, right? Yeah. So I've had this experience before. So don't be surprised if it happens to you. If you don't understand, it's okay. Just ask again and pretend you understand. Actually, sometimes you, yeah, just pretend. Fake it till you make it. Yeah, I think that's also some very good advice. The last thing I want to that I would suggest for you all is find a good partner, find a good companion. But if you want to practice your English, find a companion that will make you practice. Don't find someone just simply to lean on all the time. Find someone who will encourage your use of English overseas. And with these things, you will have, I think you will have a lot of positive experience, some strange experiences too. And remember that sometimes it's not your problem. Actually, there are many interesting things that I learned that it's not because of your language problem. Maybe it's their problem. I remember very clearly when I was on the train in Germany. And so you know this, right? They have these kind of 广播系统. They sort of, the train, it's coming, the next stop, the next few stops, blah, blah, blah. Okay, and and on this German train, this particular part was in a compartment. So if you watch Harry Potter, you know this. They have a corridor, and then they have 像包厢 so you go inside and you can sit face to face. And of course, if there are no people, you have to sit with strangers. So I remember sitting there, and there was this old man, this old German man, who was reading a German newspaper. So I assume that he's a German speaker, right? He's reading a German newspaper. And then our train stopped in the middle of the road. That shouldn't happen, right? Because there must be something wrong. And so we heard that the conductor announcing blah, 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 blah in German. And for some reason, I just couldn't understand. Normally, I think I could. But that day, I couldn't understand. And I don't know why. And so I looked at the man. And then he looked at me, this old man, reading his newspaper. He looked. And then I asked him in German, like, what did he say? Therefore, it's not your fault. It's not my fault. Even a German speaker did not understand their German. So if you encounter some English that you don't understand, it might not be your problem. It might be their problem. Yeah, so be confident. That's my suggestion for you. Ask again, or ask someone. If someone who speaks English well does not understand, it's not your fault. So we're very quick, I think, to be scared and timid. And think, oh my gosh, my English. But don't be. It could be the other person's problem. Remember that. Okay? All right. So another question. So I will call out Iris, port and crew member Iris. Choose a number between 1 and 4.
4.
4. Okay? 4. Okay, I don't like that question. I'm just kidding. Okay. All right. So the question is, are there mistakes you repeat from one holiday to the next? So holiday, this is from Britain, so vacation. Are there mistakes that you repeat from one vacation to the next? So students, you can also think about this. We all make mistakes in travel, right? Travel is like life, right? So there are mistakes that we repeatedly make. There are some problems that we just cannot solve, or it's not part of our skill set, which is okay. For me, I think one of the mistakes that I repeatedly make is that I always regret not buying something. I always regret it. I come home, I think, oh, it's okay. You think about it, you look at the price, you think about it, and you're like, okay, that's all right. You put it back. And then you go home and you're like, why didn't I buy it? That's probably something that I've regretted over my many travels, actually. I can think of things in different countries where I remember thinking, oh, it's very nice, but forget it. I'll just leave it. Maybe some other day, or maybe it's not so practical or so useful. But actually, when you come back, souvenirs are really nice to have. And so I have learned to plan a budget and spend the budget. Okay, don't think about saving. When you have planned it out, just use it. And if you want something, just buy it when you're there. Okay, don't leave regrets like these, which I have had over the course of my travels. Yeah, I certainly have. Yeah. Don't regret. Don't do. Yeah. You'll regret not doing it. Yeah, that's my point. Okay. So, students, you can also answer this question. I will answer questions from the audience. Okay, Iris?
Have you ever feel sick when you travel? Is it difficult to find doctors in other countries? This is a question from Wu Anyu.
Oh, okay. Thank you. Very good question. I remember I was never seriously sick. This is something to be very grateful for. I was never seriously sick on the road. I know some people who almost died on the road because terrible illness. That's never happened to me, thankfully. I hope it never happens. Because if you are on the road, you are more vulnerable. Anyone who is on the road is more vulnerable than they normally are. But I remember always being sick when traveling across different climate zones. So I remember one year in summertime, I remember going from Taipei to Beijing. I spent 3 days in Beijing, and then I went to Sydney, which is winter time, and then I got a cold, and that's not very fun. But I remember traveling between climate zones. This always happens to me. Same thing happened when the first time I went to Europe. I remember going from Taipei and then coming out from Amsterdam, and the weather changed at least 15 degrees, 20 degrees, and then suddenly I had a headache, really bad headache during my first day in Amsterdam. Yeah, so carry some medication with you, but always know where to find help if necessary. People will help you, so don't deal with it by yourself. Don't. Yeah, it's a very dangerous thing. So if you are not feeling so well, prepare medicine or get medicine. I had some pain medication and it was okay. Or else if you find yourself in a difficult situation, ask for help. Yeah, very important to remember. Whenever you are traveling, my experience has been, if you go out and you ask someone to help you, there's a good chance that person is a good person and they will help you. If you wait for someone to approach you, that's more risky. Yeah, it's more risky if someone approaches you. That's probably not, it could be a good person, but the intentions are a little bit more suspicious. And this is my experience. So go out, find help, ask for help, and you'll be fine. And get internet wherever you are. Wherever you go, get your, even if it's for a day, get some, yeah. Make sure your family knows where you are. Next question.
Next question from Ye Jia.
Oh, Jia, hi Jia. Thank you for watching. You are a very loyal viewer, so I want to especially say thank you. Very loyal viewer.
And I want to mention that her question is somehow related to the two questions previously.
Yes.
Which are from Tim Xu and Chorus CWT.
CWT. Hi, Chorus CWT and Tim Xu.
And their question is European friendly to Taiwanese, and did people in London treat you nice? And the question from Ye Jia is, sometimes I feel the discrimination from others when I was in the United States before, and I don't know how to react to that kind of situation. What do you think about this problem?
I think discrimination is very difficult to deal with because it's sometimes very subtle. If it comes at you, if it confronts you by the nose, face to face, then my suggestion, different people react differently. If you know Kung Fu, kick their ass, right? but you know, I'm a mellow person. My choice is to ignore. Whatever happens, we say, look, truly, yeah, this is what I have learned. And it's not just racism. It's not just racial discrimination. It's also, you know, girls get catcalled on the street, right? Maybe it doesn't happen in Taiwan, but if you are in Europe or if you're in the United States, you know, boys, when they drink, when they're on the street, they get catcalled. My suggestion is to ignore them and to avoid the situation. You know, don't react to the situation. Let me share one experience with you. Very subtle. I think it doesn't come at you face to face. But so I remember when I was writing my thesis, and I needed long periods of time to write, and I couldn't stand the library anymore. So I decided to go to a cafe that I really liked in this town of Bayreuth. And I remember going there, and in Taiwan, it's very normal to work in a cafe for the entire afternoon. You just sit there, right? But I don't think it's that common in Europe, especially if the owner doesn't like this. And I didn't know this, but this owner treated the white customers a lot nicer. So there was a white girl sitting next to me. She sat there longer than me, but she came over and asked me to leave or order something else. And I looked at him, and I, in my very polite German, I said, "Sure, of course." And I ordered something else, but he was actually quite rude about it. So I ordered something else, and I never went back to that cafe ever again. I went to another one, which treated me very nicely. So it's bad for him, actually. Maybe he doesn't like Asian customers. I don't know, but sometimes racial profiling or discrimination comes at you in a very subtle way. And if it hits you in a way where you think you can react to it, you can do so. But my suggestion is to ignore it. It keeps you safe, I think. It keeps you safe, particularly if you are traveling alone or if you are outnumbered, especially if you're a girl, outnumbered. Discrimination happens. It happens in Taiwan too. It's just that we are the dominant race, right? So we should be aware of how we treat people of other races as well. And Father Bauer gave a small sermon on this last week, so I will not repeat what he said. Okay, next question. Very good.
Okay, there is a question from Zheng Siyu.
Siyu, yes, Siyu.
She asks you, what are the most important things that you consider you have to experience in person during traveling? Like shopping?
Yeah, I think shopping is a good, I hate to say this, but I really like eating. Yeah, I think we all do. I think the Taiwanese people love to eat. And there are things that you can see in photographs, right? There are things that you can see in films, you can read about, but you will never capture the feeling of what a certain food tastes like. Maybe it tastes terrible, but at least you should try it once. I think this is my philosophy. Try everything once. If you don't like it, fine, but try it at least once. And so I would say that the food is what I look forward to tasting wherever I go. But actually, it's not just the local delicacies. You can also try, for instance, I have a friend who wants to try, whatever country he is in, he goes to McDonald's and tries the local McDonald's items there. So finding familiarity in something that is a little foreign but not so foreign is also fun. So yeah, 味觉是不可取代的。All right. So I will ask another question to the audience. There's one more cast member, very hardworking, Christine. Christine, choose a number between 1 and 3.
3.
3. Okay, 3. Okay. The question is, have you ever traveled on your own? Okay, and the answer is yes. Okay, I have traveled by myself. Next question. The answer is yes. As soon as you can. Traveling by yourself is an interesting experience. I've talked about it before, so I will not repeat. So I'll go to these last two questions. Oh, very nice questions. Okay, so I will ask the crew these two questions. As soon as you can also answer. If you were in a city and had to choose between a good meal and a bad hotel, or a bad meal and a good hotel, which would you prefer? So good meal, bad hotel, or bad meal, good hotel. Which would you prefer? Okay. So, let me ask the crew here. Christine, bad meal, good hotel, or good meal, bad hotel?
Bad meal, good hotel.
Bad meal, good hotel. Okay, excellent. Iris?
Good meal, bad hotel. No. Bad meal, good hotel.
Okay, let's even the playing field here. So bad hotel does not mean that you have rats crawling over you. It doesn't mean that it's not safe. It doesn't mean that things will get stolen. Same thing. Bad meal does not mean that you will be sick. For your that's not what it means. I think it just means, do you prefer, if you had to choose, do you emphasize the accommodations, the sleeping conditions, where you stay, or do you emphasize the food, which is more important to you in travel? I think this is the question. Do you revise your answer, Christine? No?
In this way, then food.
Food is more important than
Yeah.
where you stay. Yes. Okay. Iris?
No change.
No change. Okay. Tina?
Bad food, nice hotel.
So you prefer, okay, good accounting. Erica?
Same.
Same.
Bad meal, nice hotel.
So okay, that's interesting. So we have a split actually in opinion here. Students, you can also think about it. For me, I think it's a good question actually. That's true because different people emphasize different things actually. Some people really pay attention to what they eat during the trip. They use the food as their memories. Other people use the place they stay as the primary place. Like, yeah, I remember that place we stayed. Like so. I would probably say, yeah, good meal, bad hotel. That's my answer. Okay, for reasons that you can imagine. Okay, so students, you can respond to your answer. You can respond with your answer if you want. Okay, next question from the audience.
Okay. From 谢欣宇.
心宇, hello, 心宇.
She asks you, how do you deal with homesick, like missing Taiwanese food while you're traveling?
Honestly, I'm really homesick. I miss people. So when I'm away from my fiance, I miss her. Yeah, I miss people, I miss friends and family. But I don't miss the food. I certainly don't miss the Taiwanese weather. All right, but Lily does, my fiance, and what she does is she makes it herself. Yeah, and so in Taiwan, the food that we can get in Germany, she recreated it. So 做凉面啊，做葱抓饼. Yeah, that was actually that's I see the expression. Yeah, that was amazing. She started from the flour. Yeah, really talented. Yes. Now yeah, if there's a chance, I'll show you those photographs. We have those photographs of her creations, and it's very easy nowadays. You go online, and then you search for the recipes, or you go on YouTube, and then you watch some videos, and then you know how to do it. Yeah. So if you're homesick for food, you can always recreate it. There are some things you can't, of course, but you can satisfy your craving if you want. By trying to make it yourself. Other kinds of homesickness, I think I understand because some people are like this, that they miss the comfort of home. And I would just say to anyone who has discomfort on the road to just enjoy it. Yeah, this is a philosophy of mine that I have developed. When I was in college, I remember I had I had a roommate named Antonio. He is a West Point graduate, West Point cadet. And remember, we used to torture ourselves. We have long hours to work, we have terrible work schedules. And then he would ask me in the morning, 7 in the morning, he'd ask me, so Andrew, how is your day looking? What's your day going to be like? And I said, oh, I have a very long day, a really tiring day. He said, enjoy it, man. I was like, that's a good philosophy. And slowly, little by little, I've tried to, and there will be things that are not so perfect. There will be feelings that are bad. You'll feel frustration at times, but if you adopt the mentality of enjoying it, so make sure you feel the homesickness and write it down. Remember that feeling, because it'll become part of you. That sounds so cliche, but actually it's very true. Bad feelings, good feelings, write them down, keep a diary, and those are all important memories to have. Okay, there's one last question here about travel. I'm not sure if I missed any, but this one I like very much. It's very fitting that it's the last question. So again, I asked students, I'll ask you, and I'll ask the crew. So the question is, would you prefer a view of a desert or of the sea, and why? So would you prefer a view of a desert or of the sea, and why? Okay, so we'll start from Erica. Erica's here. Would you prefer a view of a desert or of the sea?
Sea.
You prefer the sea. Why? One vote for sea.
Because I think it is very comforting to see like water, blue, and I hate scorching hot weather.
You don't like desert?
Yeah,
right?
I don't like that.
Excuse me. How about mountains?
Mountain is better than desert, but I still
But
like
you still
sea
like the
best.
sea.
Yeah.
You still like the sea. Okay, wonderful. Tina, desert, mountain, sea.
I prefer sea.
You prefer the sea.
Because you not only can see the sea, and you also can see the boat, the walking or fishermen are fishing on the beach.
So you like the beach. You like the beach, and you like the boats. Yes.
And
There's
it's
something-
easy. You can see the weather. How was the weather like? Then you can decide what you have to wear when you go out.
Yes, I think that's very true. Living by the sea. Yes. Iris, desert, sea, mountain.
See,
Sea. Everyone likes the sea. Okay. Sea. Why?
because it's very vast and that makes me feel calm and peaceful, and I can think, I can enjoy the time on my own, and I really love to watch the blue scenery of the sea, the ocean, and the sky.
So you like the blue? Yeah.
Yeah.
Desert. No? No one likes the desert?
No.
No one. Christine, desert, mountain, sea. The question is desert or sea, but mountain. I'll put in some mountains.
I have never seen desert before, so maybe I will choose desert.
Desert.
Yeah.
So, but it's air conditioned inside. It's just that you look out
Yeah.
into like the desert landscape. You like desert?
Try once because I have never seen desert before.
Neither have I actually.
So I will choose desert to see it for once, and if I don't like to see.
Choose sea the next time. Yeah. The question, I like this question very much because actually where you stay and the view that you have is something that you can choose. This is something to remember. Where you travel and how you travel, a lot of times it depends on what you want. It depends a lot on the choices that you make for yourself. Personally, yeah, I think I like a view of the sea. I think it's a very Taiwanese thing, and to live like close to the beach, right? Although the weather can be terrible, but looking out into the ocean is something I think very poetic. And looking out into the desert is less common, I think, for us. Worth trying, as Christine said. But the thing that I want to remind you all, students, is that your view is, for a large part, it's your decision. You get to make the decisions on what you want to see. Okay. So, any more questions from the audience?
Yeah, sure. There's a question from Jiazhen.
Jiazhen, hello, Jiazhen.
She asks you, when you travel to a place, what's the first thing you do?
When I travel to a place, what's the first thing I do? Good question. Actually, it depends. It depends on where you are. It also depends on what time of day it is. If you get there in the middle of the night, it's different from if you get there in the morning. Right? And the first thing you do will probably